Removing THC drinks from Georgia's shelves, that's what some state lawmakers are trying to do.
Well, it all happened pretty quickly in a crossover day surprise.
Welcome back. Georgia's laws on cannabis are up in the air right now that the state Senate has voted to ban drinks with THC.
And this vote that came last week, it was a surprise to a lot of people, very unexpected moment for a bill that merely sought to restrict it.
Greetings! Welcome to the USA Hemp Revival channel. Today we are talking about this bill, this anomaly that has happened in our session, our Georgia session. Today is the last day of session. Will this bill make it to the floor in any shape or form? We don't know, but we think it's very interesting that a drink ban,
and if you come, I'm going to give you a special drink,
has transformed into a practical drink mandate. Watch.
We're going to take up Senate Bill 254. That's sponsored by me. This limits these hemp beverages, we're calling them, they're basically THC infused beverages, to no more than 5 milligrams per 12-ounce container.
Like the 10 milligram can would be the equivalent of 4 beers. And I think for most people, 4 beers would get them a DUI.
Sure. So this is an area of the industry that hasn't been well developed. You can develop a tolerance to consuming cannabis products just like with beer. And so what I've heard from users that consume on a regular basis is that a 10 milligram drink for them has very little effect.
It's the fact that you have the 10 milligrams, it allows people to have the issues, if they have hurting issues or pain issues or whatever, those 10 milligrams get them there. If you put it 5, they have to drink much, much more, and then they're way over where they should be.
We started with the drinks at the 5, and one of the compelling arguments that some of the folks that came and testified to us said, look, why would we have a 10 milligram gummy and a 5 milligram drink? So that was nice and reasonable.
This hearing at Georgia Ag was highly well attended, and many good points were brought up. Including milligram dosage creating issues for diabetics, who will have to eat more sugary gummies to get the dose they need, and the high expense of packaging.
We buy so many milligrams, that means we have to buy more packaging. So you're putting another expense on our hemp people here, because those packages are not cheap. Specifically the Mylar packaging, not cheap at all.
The environment.
And if we are doing more packaging, that means there's more trash. So
I got family that struggle with sleep. You know, getting those products to help them sleep and get well rested at night. Those tax dollars to help on the road. You know, these potholes that we keep running into that, you know, damage our cars. So it's like seeing them put that work into the community, seeing them spend that money, and to kind of like take a step back from that. I see that wherever we go in the future, years from now, it's just kind of like them starting from ground zero. Kind of like being the detriment to the work and like foundation that they already laid. You know, I see, you know, positive feedback from the products that we sell every day at the Georgia Hemp Company.
But is this offensive to you or undermine your regime, your
Our
rules?
job is to be an agency that effectuates what the legislature asks us to do.
And do you know how many milligrams it takes to get high of the THC, Delta 9?
This is not the answer that you want, but
I don't have it. This is investigative. I don't have it preconceived.
Well, I'm just prefacing, we don't know. And the reason why we don't know is because there's not enough federal research. It's a Schedule I controlled substance, and so there's not a lot of research in that area. But then also, even the available research names factors as broad as your metabolism, how you consumed it, what you had to eat that day, how often you exercise, how much water you drink. I can go on and on.
All righty.
Hey y'all, I'm from the Medical Association of Georgia. Just want to say that we are very supportive of this bill and its strengthening of quality control for THC products.
You're the medical person so far. What level or number of milligrams does it take to get a person high in a product? Do you know?
I don't have a good answer for you either, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm okay with banning alcohol. I have a problem with it. You know, it causes problems too. But
all right, show and tell. This is berry ginger fizz. It has marijuana leaf on the outside to let you know it has THC. It says it's from 0.3% THC by dry weight.
Can we try it?
Nope. And on the can it says 5 milligrams Delta 9. 1 can equals 1 hit. Onset 10 to 15 minutes. High lasts 45 to 60 minutes. And it's a 5 milligram container. This is not made in Georgia. This is the Georgia product I talked about, Blue Roo, high seltzer. On the outside it says 5 milligrams Delta 9 THC and 10 milligrams CBD. Uplifting vibe, mango. And it carries on and tells you on the outside that this is 12 ounces in this product, and they tell you that this is the 5 milligrams of Delta 9 THC in it. It doesn't tell you how high you get or whatever. Here's another one that's Crosstown Brewing out of Memphis, Tennessee. In the Clouds, Stratosphere, non-alcoholic peach tea, 10 milligrams THC. So this is double my Georgia product. And it goes on and on.
On and on and on and on. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I know this is a little bit redundant, but just bear with me here. I think it's good to see everyone processing here. I would especially like to see farmers processing hemp fuel, but we'll get there.
We got one of them, High Spirits, cherry limeade, 50 milligrams THC in 12 ounces. All buzz, no booze, and it has the marijuana and THC products on it. And here's a off-field Movement Made Happy, 5 milligrams THC, 10 milligrams CBD, 10 milligrams CBG. And I don't know what this is, Catherine. You might 100 milligrams L-theanine.
Apparently he hasn't spent much time in health food stores. I don't understand, though, also how they don't understand that hemp is a protein powder and a health food supplement for years and years and years. But L-theanine is just an amino acid. It's found in green tea, some mushrooms. You can see here.
And it has all the warning things on here. It's does this restrict you from adding new rules or regulations as new products come out? Or
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
It never hurts my feelings if you were to say, Ag Department would really prefer you get out of our business, or you're contradicting something we're doing because we don't want to be working against each other.
Well,
okay.
Thank you.
You got a question, Senator Brass?
Yes, sir. So of the products you showed at Show and Tell, only one of those you can get in Georgia? Is that correct?
Made in Georgia.
Made in Georgia. Can you get all those products in Georgia?
I don't know. Our local liquor lobbyist gave them to me as Show and Tell. So they found them somewhere. I think so.
Can't you get some of those at like gas stations?
That's only place pretty much. You could get them in grocery stores. They cannot be sold in a liquor store.
Only place? What about the 4,100 licensed hemp businesses in Georgia? What do you think they're selling there now that they can't sell flour?
So you can get all those in a gas station. Anybody can get them.
If they carry them.
If they're 21.
If they're 21.
Anybody at 21 can walk off the street and go in there and get those drinks and get high.
Right now. Now, some of these are in violation of the newly enacted rules and regulations of the Ag Department if they truly are in Georgia stores. But in Georgia, if you have THC in your bloodstream and you're driving and the officer thinks you're impaired, then you're DUI drugs. And that is one scary part about this is we are selling products that one swig can get you DUI. But we're also right next to it selling 6 packs of beer that can get you DUI too. So it's all about, do you drive after you take these products or not? And I don't know the science on exactly how much THC it takes to impair you.
Can we get you off going to jail by having those products out here at the meeting today? Because for me,
I'm not drinking.
You said, but possession of THC.
That's one heck of a question.
Because they have
these
THC
people that are doing medical marijuana, they're violating federal law by possessing THC. It's not violating the Georgia law because we legalized it in Georgia law if it's for those medical purposes. Federal law hadn't changed. It's a Schedule I controlled substance. And I think this could be enforced that way. But the exception is, well, this isn't really marijuana. This is hemp-based. I don't see the federal law distinguishing between THC hemp and THC marijuana. It's just the source is regulated.
Okay, hang with me one more moment, then we'll go to the floor vote.
And that's why the dry weight is is derived from a product that has 0.3% or less, but they are extracting the THC and distilling it, as you say. But here, Senator Brass, you may be more of an expert than I am.
I thought hemp got pulled off the schedule altogether about 5-6 years ago.
Possession of hemp is legal. Possession
I
of marijuana
believe
is not.
it either went Schedule 5 or maybe taken off schedule altogether.
Hemp may have, but THC hadn't.
Is the federal law.
But it's derived from hemp. Hemp, which is your difference, what you stated earlier.
Yeah.
But hemp not being on the would not be against federal law.
And that's the question.
Which hurts my argument tomorrow or one day when I have my medical marijuana bill. But I think hemp is off, and I think that's the difference.
You talked about locals. This is Scofflaw, which most of us have probably been to. They're not too far from the Capitol. They offer a combination sweet tea half lemonade in 5 milligram, 10, and 25 milligrams.
Right.
That's not even 5 miles from here.
So we're faced with a policy decision. Do we want to, as a policy, limit the amount of THC per serving of the various types of products that this bill does, and we want to put that in the code?
That's why you got high, because it was funny.
Pass.
I got a motion to pass from Senator Ginn and a second from the majority leader. Any further? This is for public safety. You may hear other people speak on this, but these current 10 milligram beverages are like 4 shots of liquor, 4 glasses of wine, or 4 beers, all in one can.
We're still saying that a 10 milligram drink and 4 beers are the same thing. They are not. How do I know that? Because I help tens of thousands of people every month purchase these products in a safe way.
This is really recreational marijuana that we're getting to. We're combining alcohol and THC in a formula that we really don't know what the outcome is going to be.
So what we're doing is allowing folks to sell beverages that will impair your ability to do a lot of things, but for one, to drive.
Just because it's bought at a gas station doesn't mean they have to go in their car and take it, just like we would judge anyone who went in their car and downed a beer as soon as they bought it, right? We'd be like...
So we're putting loaded guns in people's hands in the form of a can or a gummy, and we need to protect them.
Speaking of putting loaded guns in people's hands.
I'm Brian Kemp.
Oh,
this
Lordy.
Is Jake.
No.
Young man interested in one of my daughters.
Don't lift it up.
Yes,
Don't point it at a minor. No, don't do that. That's against the law.
We're going to get along just fine.
Governor, that's against the law.
Secretary, read the
And then,
amendment.
unbeknownst to Chairman
Mr. President, Senator
Cowser,
Robertson, on the
Senator
29th and onwards,
Robertson
56,
added
offer
an
the following amendment
amendment.
number 1 to amend the Senate Committee on Regulated Industries and Utilities substitute to Senate Bill 254 by replacing line 2 with the following.
Hello, colleagues. This is a very simple amendment.
I thought initially that they were trying to kill the bill. I voted against that amendment.
What this amendment does is it prohibits the sale of beverages that contain THC in Georgia. We're on a bullet train when dealing with marijuana. And let's be clear, that's what we're dealing with. You can call it cannabis, you can call it CBD, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it, farmer's product, whatever. We're dealing with marijuana, weed, the chronic, whatever you want to say. It's not about those of us in this room sitting here, the adults that I'm looking at. It's about our children. It's about my 5 granddaughters. It's about your children. Think of the world they're coming to while we're making these fast decisions related to something that there is so limited study on because it's a schedule.
Oh my God, here we go with the kids again. If you really cared about the kids, if you really cared about the children, you'd have gasoline already instead of oil causing benzene in their lungs.
You are attempting to take from the market any drinks that have THC in them. Is that not true?
Yes, ma'am, that is true.
I do have objection from several members. All those in favor of the adoption of Amendment 1 will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine.
And so the drink ban amendment passed
Yeas are 29,
by a hair.
nays are 27. Senator from the 14th, for what purpose do you rise?
Move to reconsider that amendment vote, Mr. President.
All right. The senator from the 14th has moved for reconsideration. So all those in favor of the amendment will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary?
Notice here it sounds like he's doing a revote, but it was actually supposed to be the reconsideration motion before the revote. If it got reconsidered, then they would vote again.
All those in favor of reconsideration will vote yea. All opposed, nay. Secretary, unlock the machine.
So I heard some senators were actually literally confused at this point. I mean, look, Cowsert voted no, but he didn't want it to pass, so he would have voted yes to reconsider it.
The amendment has been adopted, excuse me. Question is on the adoption of the committee substitute as amended. Is there objection to the adoption of the committee substitute as amended?
In any case, the
Hearing none,
amendment
committee
and the bill
substitute as
passed,
amended is adopted.
and then
All
it
those
went
in favor
on
vote
to
yea.
the
All
House
opposed, nay.
for a
Secretary,
committee.
unlock the
But
machine.
before that, there was a lot of
All in the passage of the
buzzing
bill, the
on the
yeas are
media
42, the nays
about
are
such a ban
14. This
being
bill having received
un-American.
votes that constitute
Few weeks left in Georgia's legislative session. There is a heated fight over a bill that would ban THC drinks.
Omari Anderson created the best dirty lemonade for his mom, adding cannabis extract to her lemonade recipe when Alzheimer's kept her from eating.
Got my mom to try them, and she loved them. It's like my mother's legacy lives on through our business.
Been testifying at the Capitol for years, he says how it was done without a hearing from businesses first felt like a slap in the face.
Right? It felt almost un-American.
Hemp Haven owner Deanna Padron sells Anderson's drinks and can't believe lawmakers would kill businesses like his.
They've already changed the laws. I know people that will buy like a 12-pack of beer and go through it in one night. I know ladies that will buy a bottle of wine, sometimes two, if they're with some friends. I believe that adults should have the freedom to choose what they want to put into their body.
How do you feel the state of politics and how our elected officials are doing right now in Georgia or even nationally? Like, what comes to mind for you?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is they're not taking care of small businesses. We are the backbone of this country. This is my community. I live right down the street. So, of course, I want to keep my business open and thriving.
What are you most optimistic about?
Well, I am most optimistic that one day we are getting closer to federal legalization. Because let me tell you, all my issues and problems will go away once they start getting their admin together and taxing us properly and making sure that, you know, all of our stuff is compliant.
Georgia hemp is under attack. We gotta have each other's backs. Why don't you just make a tax for the cannabis and just relax?
Do I suddenly feel like Esther asking King Ahasuerus to free my people? Not that it's Purim today or anything.
The amendment carried that prohibited THC beverages altogether. Because I'm like, y'all didn't tell me about it. You got to remember that the Senate floor operation is a whole lot different than the House. You know, we don't have structured rule and all that kind of stuff. It's a wild, wild west. So I voted against it, but it passed.
What brings this bill? Why now?
Because we never had hemp-derived THC until after 2018.
It was so crowded in the meeting. So many people showed up to testify, many to save their businesses. A few of us just decided to go into a room next door to watch via laptop.
When you're selling intoxicating substance. So if you have any amount of THC in your blood and you're driving a vehicle, you are DUI drugs. So I got to thinking, heck, these people, you can go get you a 6-pack of beer. You can kind of gauge, you can drink 2 or 3, supposedly 0.02 per beer or drink or glass of wine, and you can know when to cut it off before you drive. With these beverages, I got worrying that people wouldn't realize.
He's not wrong about that. He's not. But that's where education comes in. Yeah, if you don't know your limits, don't just try a drink out in public if you're driving. Don't do that. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that, adults. Know your limits. But make it available in a safe way for the people that need it. And not just need it, that choose it. It's good to have choice. This is America. We are free.
Anything could put us under influence. Anything. I mean, I've been up here 9 years. I don't see us taking actions on anything else that can influence any Georgian. alcohol, cigarettes, right? And so this bill, in my humble opinion, Mr. Chairman, I can't support a bill that where you're just saying, hey, this is bad, but you're not giving this body data. I just see this as a manufactured idea that's going to hurt and harm CBD stores. It's going to hurt and harm those who are not under the influence. They're not getting high. They're not. I just don't see it, Senator. I mean, I hear you, and I hear your presentation, but I'm reading this legislation, Mr. Chairman, and compare that to all the other things that are in our society. And I just don't see the validity of Senate Bill 254.
Okay. Well, you might realize that marijuana is illegal in Georgia. THC is illegal in Georgia. Our state has determined that marijuana is illegal. Were we right? Were we wrong? There are a lot of states that have legalized it. We haven't.
Chairman Cowsert was correct in his recount of all of the efforts that we've made to establish rules and regulations over the past year.
It never hurts my feelings if you were to say Ag Department would really prefer you get out of our business.
Right now we've got about 90 pages of rules that have come out by the department that are in some ways onerous, right? A lot of the industry participants would tell you that. One of the things that we are really considering when we're looking at legislation this term is that market participants have just received the latest round of rules, which they knew that were coming, but they weren't established until the second week of January. And so everyone has been making efforts to conform with what we've established. They need the barriers that they need to take mind of, and all the different qualifications that they must have. And so the industry is really, it's new. It's adjusting to recently established regulations, and so there's been a lot of movement. So one of the things that we really are trying to share with people in the legislature is that we would like to have a little bit more time to go ahead and start moving forward with a little bit of data, a little bit of research, and how we can go ahead, how what we already have in place is going to impact the market before we start changing things again.
Unlike alcohol, THC doesn't damage the liver or cause dehydration, which some medical professionals see as positive. THC is also a better sleep aid. So therefore, THC is gives more positive effects than alcohol. I have 4 children, had been in my business for 7 years. I have a lot of older people are coming to my store asking for pain relief. They're tired of taking the medications because the medications are killing their liver and damaging their kidneys. I also get a lot of older men and women that come to the store because they've been drinking for 20 years and they've started to develop a problem. And so now they need something to help them relax, but they don't want to go towards alcohol. So they're coming to the store looking for the alternative, which is a hemp drink. No one can come into the store unless they're 21 and over. Once they come into the store, we card them. So inside the store, we do have a regulated area. And before you buy any of the drinks, we card you as well.
Oh my goodness! Oh, this video is almost done. And that committee hearing is done as far as this video coverage. Wow. It went for a couple hours, a little over 2 hours, and then there was more news media coverage, and then the next day, this is what happened. Wait, let me get a spray of my Bach flower essences. Y'all, contact me if you want some vibrational cleansing. Not addictive. Actually, it helps with addictions. Bach flower essences, look it up. Anyway, as I was saying, check this out.
Jeff Yabuki opened his first hemp store in Georgia 5 years ago. He spoke against a bill banning increasingly popular THC drinks and limiting the concentrations for products. He says the lawmakers pushing the bill are playing on fears the products aren't safe.
I just wish that all the people that were involved in making decisions that impact my life, my family, my children's life, like I just wish they knew what they were talking about.
You won't believe what happened the next day as Chairman Powell announced his committee meeting. And then in it, just watch.
Regulated industries, we're going to meet after Chairman Anderson's committee meets. Please be there. We're going to abbreviate it, pass a substitute to the bill we started yesterday. And if you come, I'm going to give you a special drink called a hemp-based CDB. And I hadn't had one of them yet.
Not on campus.
We will be offering no drinks in this committee meeting, but
And that might be the new way to get people to attend. Who knows?
At 506 CLB, no hemp drinks, but we'll have a special prize for you.
For the members, y'all remember what was discussed yesterday and what was in the bill that was put before us. And we heard testimony yesterday, and we had to move on out pretty quick. But we suspect that we know how a lot of the folks that had signed up yesterday. Now, I'm not one that chairs a meeting that I don't believe in people having a right to be heard, but I think we heard a pretty good feel yesterday. This issue before us is last year when the legislature passed the hemp bill and sent it to the Ag Department. They have put the guardrails around what is and what's not eligible. It appears to be a new type of a drink or other type of things that could be used for the personal enjoyment of folks. Aviva, all right?
Yes, we're not talking about legalizing it, but what's the big deal? Recreational is not a big deal. It's stress release. Everyone needs stress relief. I mean, people break up with people have affairs because they're not relieving themselves from stress. So what's worse, holding on to this stress or allowing people to have stress relief so they can live their lives and be happy? What's the big deal? Like, why is that such a stigma to talk about? Some people take a drink, some people take a hit of weed. It's really not a big deal, and we need to grow past this issue. We really do. I'm personally not a smoker, but I think it's an ethical issue, and it's offensive to some cultures to stigmatize it.
I have said for years that, those of us who've dealt with alcohol issues, we know that the alcohol industry has lost a lot of curry over the years because younger people want something else. They don't want the headaches, they don't want the hangovers. And quite frankly, it appears to me that a lot of folks are probably drinking these because from the folks that I have talked to that's told me about them, it's sort of a tranquil effect.
Those people have guns in their hands, and they'll put them down for the cans.
I mean, that's the best I can explain it. I haven't heard a lot about the buzzing, but I'm not a hypocrite. At the very least, people do drink alcohol because they like the buzz. Except for me, I purely like the taste of Irish whiskey. That comes from my genetic background. That being said, I am going to give everybody here a chance to be heard in one fashion. And if I would, everybody here that's here to speak in favor of this bill, because we certainly heard some yesterday that put the caution out there.
If we hadn't had so many physicians over-prescribing Oxycontin, we wouldn't have had the opioid crisis that we did.
I have a proposition before the committee. If you'll look at the substitute to House Bill 254, and this is LC 28069S. We're going to be studying this in depth this summer. I mean, we'll be studying it in depth. As I questioned the author of the bill, he agreed that if there's any place that should have the right to sell these products, it should be package stores.
this is Berry Ginger Fizz. Our local liquor lobbyist gave them to me as show and tell.
Our local liquor lobbyist gave them to me as show and tell.
They check IDs, so it didn't seem to be fair. So before you, what you see is a substitute to the bill, and it does one thing only. It gives the Department of Revenue the authority to promulgate the rules and regs to allow package stores, if they are licensed by the Department of Agriculture for these products, for them to sell these products.
Does this in any way allow us to collect excise taxes on these?
Why don't you just make a tax for the cannabis and just relax?
I had discussed this for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been working with the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Revenue about putting some guardrails and putting excise tax. And Revenue met with me yesterday, And out of an abundance of precaution, they said that it would take more than just a simple section. This was, matter of fact, to put excise tax on these products would take crossing 3 or 4 different code sections. We've decided that that would be part of this study this summer, not just on the products themselves and the safety. And this only does one thing, and that's puts these into the package stores in the state. To sell a hemp-based product, you have to be licensed by the Department of Agriculture.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, not only would you have to be licensed by the Department of Agriculture, you'd also have to be licensed by Revenue to sell alcoholic beverages. Up to 10. We haven't changed any of the levels. It's still at 10s.
Should this pass, it allows for excise taxes now or after the summer study committee?
It'll be after the summer. Gives you time to talk to some of the more knowledgeable folks.
I'll make a motion to do pass.
We have a motion. We have a second. Do we have any further questions? Any discussion?
Let's drink and get high.
And for all. And
That's it? It's over? Okay. It is going to the House floor. So once it passes the House floor, it goes back to the Senate for an amendment approval. If they don't, of substitute approval. Now, this is exactly probably going to happen at like 12 o'clock at night on April 4th on sunny day. So we're going to either be live streaming from the Capitol or from here watching. And this time we're going to, they're probably going to either pass it as is, which would be amazing. That would be the best possible scenario. But once the Senate gets it, they have been known to amend anything that they want, right? So they could literally do anything they want to it, because they did anything they wanted in the House, right? And that's what happened with 494. It's just this fringe amount of danger, and not enough people talk about the benefits, the freedom, the choice, which is what we should be focused on. Everything is dangerous. That's why there's warning labels. That's why they are kept hidden away and locked up. But that doesn't mean that you take it away completely from someone. That's really
right.
off balance, and there's just been cognitive dissonance about the whole thing.
Any discussion?
Let's drink and get high.
And I want to say this before we take a vote. For all the folks who have sent the text and emails, which is probably more than I have seen on any subjects as of late, we're not banning the product. We're going to be looking at the product over the interim. And that being said, if there's no further questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and this has been a gloriously short meeting, and y'all can get on to your other business. One other thing, you'll see a samples that was brought of this product. Take these home with you. Do not open them here, because I would be under pain and suffering from the Speaker's office of daring to have entice something on the premise. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you think? Huh? Now, would you say this is a step towards freeing the plant completely? These are important conversations all of our legislators are diving into. It seems to be healing some of the cognitive dissonance. You see, cognitive dissonance and the lack of understanding specific issues is abundantly fed by not only not talking about something, but avoiding it. Avoiding discussions because of triggers, because of anger, because of grief, because of hopelessness. So it stands to reason that putting everything on the table to help us look at what's really there, and what's really there, if you think about it, we have a whole lot of Georgians who are admitting to using safe hemp products as a replacement for cannabis. Because it is cannabis, it's one plant, and they have a God-given right to do so. And thus, if we simply recognize that indeed these products are similar to marijuana, without throwing our arms up. Oh no, it's the devil's grass. No, I see it as being helpful to just recognize that yes, these products do exist. You're not being duped by thinking, oh, there's no way I can get these products, when literally they're on the shelf already. And I get it. These legislators are like, why are they even on the shelf? This isn't supposed to be legal. Well, it is. It's our God-given right to use it. So it would be so much safer to just recognize and say, okay, these products do in fact legally exist. What are we going to do with it? If we make people aware that yes, this is available to you, be careful, make sure you know what you're getting into. Through education, regulation, we get them aware, right? Many already are, but some aren't. Some are living in a bubble, in a reefer madness bubble of cognitive dissonance. Hemp does have the power to make you high. It's important to be aware and to not go through something uncomfortable to get there. Be aware that something someone hands you, even if it's legal, it could potentially get you high and impair you. We have to get people aware that these products exist, whether or not you want to or not. Because even if you want to ban them, and even if you successfully do, guess what? They are not going away. God knows. You can try to ban all the plants in his beautiful garden, but they will grow back. Like weeds, they will continue to grow back and nurture us. Don't forget the power of dandelions. God knows cannabis is not going away. And like Willie Nelson says,
if it wasn't supposed to be there, the big guy wouldn't put it there. Well, he didn't make no mistakes. He put him here for a reason.
put it here for a reason. Now go and get some rest. Because I hear that sleep deprivation is very dangerous and intoxicating. It not only causes accidents, but also very poor decision making. We do have Zoom calls and email lists, so shoot me your email. Tiger, did you want to say anything?
That's a calm kitty.
Hi. It's like listening to the ocean. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
We are smart to cultivate hemp. Use it for so many things. Motivate the people. Now's the time with hope it brings. Farmers in America. This is your stimulus package. Hemp is coming home to America.
I knew a billion